Hey guys, you guys watching? It's here. It's here. It's happening. It's really happening. This is real life. This isn't a dream. Yeah, that's right, guys. What is it? Oh, yeah. There we go. Dun, 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 That's right. It's time. We're grilling tonight. We're grilling and chilling in this day. Yeah, guys. So the deal is, I'm gonna just do a little test cook. Not gonna do anything fancy today. This is my first real cook. I just cooked some burgers to get the shit off of the grill. So I've got a steak here. I've got a yummy looking guy. I know meat is murder and we need to eat less beef, but damn it, while it's there, gonna have a little bit more. So trigger warning for participating in the bovine holocaust. I agree, but I'm weak. I'm a weak man. Anyway, so we're gonna get these coals good in this chimney, which, by the way, somebody recommended on here that I get a chimney so I don't have to mess with lighter fluid. Very thankful. This thing is honestly idiot proof, which is great because I'm an idiot. So you just dump the coals in here, you light some newspaper underneath it, and it just gets them all cooked up, and then you dump them out, and they're ready. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to be what do you call it? Going to be preparing a steak after the fashion of my good friend and America's favorite Italian-American comedian, Mike Racine. One of the best chefs I know. Him and Will are really kind of the two best cooks I know. And he gave me this way to cook a nice piece of beef where you reverse sear. So I'm going to do indirect heat for about 10 minutes, get it nice and kind of gray, and then boom, put it right on the fire for however long to get nice and scorched. We're doing the reverse here, out here in this place. We're doing the reverse here. Get up out of my face. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, we're doing good here. We're doing good, guys. Trying to think of a way to put this thing around so I don't have to hold it. It's kind of annoying. Actually, you know what? I got a thing I'm gonna get. It'll help. Hold on. Be right back. Sorry. Feels a little Blair Witch right there. I'm sure that was kind of traumatic, so sorry about that, guys. I got a little dude here that I use. Yeah. So, what's up? What do you guys want to talk about? I gotta say, guys, I'm not gonna really take any questions about the protest movement and everything because I just recorded a one-on-one me and Chris for Chapo this week, where I kind of tried to make sense of everything I've been putting together in my head and on here for the last week or so into something kind of synthetic and unified field. So I'm really kind of spent on the topic, and in fact now I feel really kind of relieved because I feel like I finally expressed what I've been trying to get at, and I hope people like it. I'm sure it'll be divisive. I hope it is. I hope some people get pissed, because if they didn't, then I didn't really express myself well enough. But I feel good about it. So anything else you guys want to talk about? Oh man, Olaf Palme's assassination. I mean, hasn't there been like a kind of a slow motion, drip by drip, uh, um, limited hangout about South African intelligence shit over the last decades? Like, they let slip the stuff about killing Ruth first, and then they let slip the stuff about beating Biko to death, and let slip the stuff about the germ warfare and the nuclear weapons plans. That all kind of just went over the same way that CIA over time limited hangout their stuff, you know. And considering what they were up to in the 80s, I mean, that entire regime was going through a complete nervous breakdown because they were so under so much pressure, and they were so terrified of losing that they went absolutely ham. They had torture camps in the middle of the veldt where they were barbecuing people. They assassinated people all over the world, poisoned people. That there's accusations in Cold Case Hammarskjöld documentary about the assassination of Dag Hammarskjöld in the Congo. Parenthetically, that there's like a South African front intelligence company, a front medical company created by the South African Secret Service to spread AIDS in South Africa. And none of that stuff would surprise me. The assassinating Palm would have been totally in their wheelhouse of what they were up to back then, because Palm really was the point man for global apartheid divestment. He's one of the guys who organized what otherwise would have been a much more difficult task of getting everybody on board, you know, because otherwise South Africa could have leveraged different sides against each other, you know, triangulated like China against Russia or something. Oh, I have had char-grilled oysters, and I am feeling I'm just thinking about the mon ami. You get those in there, like you get them char-grilled oyster. Oh man, don't wait, you get some of the butter. You put that butter in there, you crawl char-grilled. Delicious stuff, man. Ooh, I want to get some char-grilled oysters on here. I think that might be one. If I can get a hold of some fresh oysters. I think there's a purveyor around here. Might get some oysters. Get a hefty like backpack full of them. Break them open myself. Put some butter. You get that garlic butter you put on there, and then you just fall on that fire. You get that good fire going, and you just can't. Oh, you cook that butter. You cook that butter right there in that shell. Because oysters you get really are never as good as the ones in restaurants, because they get pride of place, because that's where the markup is highest, so it has to have a certain quality level that you don't necessarily have to have if you're getting it wholesale. So wholesale oysters are not going to be as tasty raw. I mean, a raw oyster is one of the best, most perfect foods in the world, but only if it's fresh, only if it's the right kind, only the right time of season. Otherwise, they're still great. Fry them up, oh my god, fried oyster, oh, they poor boy with that fried oyster and that remoulade, oh my god, oh, slap your mama. But the char-grilled oysters are also phenomenal. I had them in New Orleans. They're great. Mm. You give a little lemon, you put a little vinegar on there. You know what I like to do. Even with that chopped broil, I still put that horseradish on there. You know I'm gonna sprinkle that horseradish in there. Even with that butter, I put that horseradish. I like that tang. Ooh, that tangy horseradish. It really opens it up. I gotta say, Cajun food is probably the best American food way. I mean, what's its competition? I mean, Southern cuisine is great. Very heavy though. The barbecue is its own weird nerd fiefdom that honestly is kind of alienating because of how sectarian it is. It's like, all right, get over it. Oh, brisket and pork shoulder. Sort it out. I don't care. It's all fine. Just what's in front of me, I'll eat it. Settle down. Like what else? Like New England, like lobster's really good, but you know they do better seafood in the Gulf, even though the oysters aren't as good, which is why they're usually better in New Orleans if you get them like fried or charbroiled, because the Gulf oysters are not as good as the ones in the North Atlantic or especially the West Coast, Washington. Mwah. I might be losing weight. I don't know. I think I've kind of like I've eating less during quarantine, so I think I've lost a little weight. Thank you. Okay, I think these guys are ready. I think I'm ready to put these guys around. So let's do it. All right, guys. Oops, shit. Sorry about that. All right. Where's my? Oh, there we go. Oh, shit. All right. Here we go. All right. All right. So now we'll put these guys in a nice pile in the middle. Yeah. There. All right. All right. Putting it over here. And then we cover it. So now we can set and forget that one for a bit until it's time for the reverse sear. It's not hot enough, some people are saying. All right, I'll get some more. He told me 10. That's how many put on. He told me 10, but I'll get some more. I'll leave it on longer too. I need you guys to help me, so thank you for that advice. Like I said, this is literally my first time doing anything more complicated than a hamburger. So thank you guys. I hope you enjoyed the view of my butt while I was doing that. Medium rare is usually what I get. If it's really high quality meat, I might go maybe go rare. I don't know. Usually medium rare though. It seems like that's the ideal way. The golden path. It's all about finding the middle path and everything. That is the righteous path. That is the fourfold path, and that's medium rare, baby. Mwah. I had oysters in Portland. They were great. I think my best oyster experience was probably Seattle. Those Washington, those Puget Sound boys are, I think, maybe the best boys. I already salted it. I rubbed up the steak. The steak's all rubbed up. Thank you for that. Thank you. Somebody asked me about Buddhism. What was that? I thought someone asked me about Buddhism. If they want to repeat the question, I'd answer that. Oh no, messages are being deleted. Is there a mod war? Are the mods going to war? Oh, that reminds me. I'm gonna leave this in longer than I would have if I had more hotter coals to begin with. But could you guys? Somebody set a 15-minute timer. Yeah, give me a 15-minute timer so I'll know to check. Or actually, no. I'd like to check in like 5. I don't have a watch. This is my computer is over there. So could you give me a 5-minute alarm right now? Thank you. I think there is an internal thermometer. I don't know where it is though. Yeah, Buddhism is great. It did change my life too. It's good stuff. It's the closest anybody's gotten. It's the closest to the root that anyone's ever got. Not all the way, because no one has all information at any time. It's impossible. So it's only a shadow of what could be, but it's the deepest to the root, closest to the root. Really, that guy knocked it out of the park. Old Siddhartha Gautama, a real Ted Williams type producer, theologically. Just one of the absolute conversation for greatest of all time. I've not been to a temple because I haven't been really able to rededicate myself until I have this moment while I've been in quarantine, so I haven't been anywhere. I haven't even been able to integrate the idea of being outside into my idea of my day-to-day life. I mean, my routine has been so prescribed now that it doesn't even occur to me to do the kind of things that would have. Just everything feels gone. Everything feels very far, because the idea of going anywhere, navigating physical space, what am I going to do? Take an Uber? What am I going to do? Walk? What am I going to do? Take the train? These are all recipes for Coronaville, baby. Population Coronaville. Never mind. Welcome to Coronaville, population U. That's it. Somebody is going ham in the chat, apparently, getting put into timeout. They have timeout? How old are you people? Are you all babies? Are you the age of those fucking kids that Felix used to kill in Fortnite? I will be really pissed if you guys are those little babies. If your little bottoms need to be spanked, that is very disappointing to me. I thought I was engaging in some sort of, quasi-Socratic dialogue with an audience of adult peers, not knaves and infants. I've been pranked. Pranked by the internet again. I mean, obviously, when we talk about the way that modern post-modernity infantilizes first world subjects such as us, it's fair to say that yes, you are all babies, emotionally and intellectually, as am I. We all have third grade emotional and intellectual reading levels, because that's how they like to keep us, as little perpetual budding pubescents who need to satisfy every new eruption within them with a purchase. It's the ideal consumer. Is like the consumption machinery of a fucking young person is it's like adrenaline. You get like a hummingbird burst because your personality is so unformed. You're so anxious and you're so vulnerable socially that purchasing becomes the anchor for identity. And you grow out of that, or you used to grow out of that. But as the stimulation increases, your ability to prolong that awful agony increases, and the capitalistic reward system incorporates that into its profit projections, and all of a sudden you have elongated adolescence for everyone under the age of 50, because we've never ended that state of post-pubescent anxiety, because that makes us better consumers. I gotta tell you guys, everybody asks me to recommend books. I am a fraud. I don't read the books. I'm all grabbing towards things. Like an infant. I'm grabbing towards these ideas, and then people say, oh, that's in that. And I'm like, I bet it is. That makes sense. I feel more like this stuff is drawn from the ether than from any kind of accumulated rational understanding of the world that I've absorbed. It's very hard to explain, though. All right, 5 minutes. Let me check. Let me check my guy. Oh boy. Oh dear. Oh. It's not really, it doesn't look like it's getting much cooking. It still has to catch more with the coals. So I'm not really going to start looking at it until the coals get more. We might not even, I might run out of phone battery before this thing is done. I have to accept that. But I want to make it good, damn it. If it doesn't work, I'll just stick to Nathan's famous hot dogs and oysters, which I think I'll be able to do relatively easily. You just get a big flame. You gotta make sure that it's kissing flame. And then just watch those babies just soak up that butter. Oh, I mean, mwah. A young Sergio Leone, I guess, thank you? I don't really know what he looks like. He's certainly a talented director. He made so many wonderful films. What is best Balkan nation? Serbia, number one Serbia. No, I mean, I'm from Wisconsin, right? So I have a Balkan. I honestly do. For as far as an American can, because I'm from the American Balkans, I have a Balkan sense of state identity. So I have to go with the Balkan state that Wisconsin is. And we talked about this the other day, and we came up with some stuff. And I think, thinking on it, I think the true answer is Serbia. It all starts with Serbia is Ohio. That cannot be defeated. I think Croatia is Michigan then. And I'm pretty sure that Wisconsin is Slovenia. So, Slovenia is the best Baltic country. Because I am from the Slovenia of the United States. The problem is shit. The problem I have is Minnesota has a really good claim for being the Slovenia of the Balkans too. That's my problem. Not Illinois. Illinois is not Slovenia. Minnesota could be Slovenia. I mean, obviously, I like the idea of Slovenia being Wisconsin because then you got the Zizek connection, which is cute. But I think Minnesota might have a better claim on being Slovenia than Wisconsin does, and then I don't know what Wisconsin is. It's not Montenegro, for sure. It's not Bosnia. I think Indiana is Bosnia. But it's not like Macedonia. Maybe it's not even in the Balkans. Maybe it's like, maybe Wisconsin is, maybe Wisconsin's Bulgaria or something. Maybe it's Bulgaria. Oh, Romania. That's it. Wisconsin's Romania. Nope. You know what? Switch it and it's perfect. Wisconsin, Slovenia. Fucking Minnesota is Romania. Dropped mic. That's done. We did it, guys. I will not hear discussion. This is 100% correct. I know it's not Balkan, but we're talking the region, because there aren't enough perfect analogs, because the upper tier is different than the rest of the Midwest, and it has to be reflected in that. It's got to still be Slavic as a thing. That's why it can't be Greece. Oh shit, Romania isn't Slavic. God damn it. This is tart. This is really difficult. Well, that's the thing, is that Wisconsin is literally the Czech Republic. I mean, if you want to talk about direct, those Bohemians moved to Wisconsin. So it is literally, in terms of the population, they came from Bohemia, which is now the Czech Republic, or Czechia. So if you want to go with that and like allow yourself to stay Slavic and move out of the Balkans proper, then Wisconsin can be Czech Republic. And then that leaves Slovenia to be Minnesota. It's all very complicated, and made up is the thing, and stupid, and a waste of time. But at least it's not hurting anybody. Yeah, I realized Romania wasn't Slavic. I bungled that. They got literally Romania, Romance language. I bungled it. I'm a bungler. I have sinned. I have sinned before the masses. I'm sorry. Looks like they're going hard tonight. Last night I was out and just bumped into a giant. I just stood out on Fulton on Flatbush and waited. Boom. It's wild. All right, we got a 10-minute warning. Let me take a look. Yeah. That's good. Okay, perfect. You know what? This is going well. It's he warned me about this. It's like it's not appetizing. It's like kind of grayish brown. Like, but that's the layer you want it to be when you throw it on for the sear. So I think we're on track here. If I get it on the other side the way I got it on that side, and I can get it hot enough in the middle, I think it'll be good. I don't know what the internal temperature is. I know I don't have a meat thermometer. Stop yelling at me. I don't have a thermometer, my friend. I'm doing beef because beef is like the lowest risk that I'm gonna die. Beef is generally the least likely to give me a fucking a bug or something. That's why I'm picking a nice USDA prime piece of beef so that I can air. Because I don't want to get too vibed out on this. The whole point of this is to be chilling, right? To be like applying oneself to an object, but not to the point of internal stress. And and right now, like if I was without you guys, if you weren't on here, I would have one. But this is too many things for me to enjoy at any level, any of them. If I add a thermometer to this mix, it just throws off the equilibrium. So I can't do it. I understand your concern. And I'm trying to maintain that Zen posture, that balance of all forces. And that means you have to know what to drop. You have to know what you can lose. And in this case, because I'm gambling that a nice piece of this is really good too. This is like mail order shit. Is not going to have a parasite in it. I'm willing to roll the dice in order to have a good time and to maintain the chill and grill attitude. Because a large part of it is the gold cliche, the accepting the thing, the ability to change the things I can change, accept the things I can't, and the wisdom to know the difference. I mean, that is a cliche, but like David Foster Wallace was 100% when he's correct when he said all those cliches that they use in like drug rehab and shit, they are true, and they do have profound meaning. The problem is that if you only learn them from the outside, they're totally tinny and hollow and cliche. You have to learn them from the inside. You have to actually go through your life experience to the point where you get enough understanding of something that it ends up being translated down to a little pocket version of that idea, and all of a sudden that cliche has meaning and helps you move forward in your life positively. I'm not saying any of it is good. I know that 12-step is a scam and that Alcoholics Anonymous is just a Christian cult. I'm just saying that those cliche phrases have meaning if you build it up within yourself. We got the copters going. You want to hear the copters? Dun, 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 dun. What the fuck? Keep stirring the sauce. Keep stirring the sauce and to climb a mountain. Do-do-do. You can swim the sea. Do-do-do. You can jump into the fire. Ba-da-ba. But you'll never be free. Why did you do that, Karen? Karen, why did you do that? We needed that money. They never would have found it. You can make it cry. Oh. Really good movie. Really, really good movie. Want to see helicopters? I'll always have to stand for Goodfellas. There's too much about it that I don't deeply respect to not give it the #1 spot. Okay, someone's saying AA isn't a Christian cult. I'm just saying what I've heard. I have no idea. I'm saying I have no investment in these things being effective. Just that there's an observation to be made that really profound, life-changing truths are banal when expressed. That's all I'm saying. Like the real shit that moves you off of your ken and sets you on a new course, when it comes out of you, it comes out in flat cliches. Because if everyone else understood it the way you did, they would all be like that. Everyone has different levels of understanding and different vocabularies, and they clang off of one another. And so you just say the thing that's most easily transmittable, which, because the other person has not experienced what you did to get to where you are, it sounds like a cliche. It sounds meaningless. Because they have to do the work to get around into it and make those words mean something. That's what I'm saying. I think it is a police helicopter, yes. Going well. I don't think it's going to be bad. I don't think it's going to be great or anything, but I think it might be okay. So, you know, this was, I mean, my best ones are not going to be on here, you know? Like, when I'm really, like, the whole, one of the chief grill pill philosophies is don't do two things at once. Only do one thing at a time. So I'm already violating key grill pill scripture by doing this, but I felt like we all deserved it after all this talk and all these journeys together on all these YouTubes and all these comment sections. Just a nice communal thing. So for one time, really, I feel like this will be fun. But my best grilling is going to be when I have the undivided, it's just me and the grill. Me and the grill and the fire and the quietude. Or the conviviality of friendly eventual comrades, if that day ever comes. I think it's coming soon. I think the containment seal on the quarantine is snapped. I think people are going to be back out pretty quickly. In fact, you could almost argue that, shit, okay, you guys want to get really galaxy-brained insane. I want to put an asterisk on this right now. Okay, this is insane. This is like total speculation. I actually kind of feel bad saying it, because I feel like it kind of is irresponsible to put this in the world, sort of Rocco's basilisk style, however you say it. But it also, I can't get it out of my head now that I'm thinking about it. So we've talked about how the consumer economy is broken, right, because of COVID. And there's no other way to recapitalize the American economy other than the consumer sector, because that's all we have left. We stripped out all the other infrastructure and sold it off and outsourced it. So you can pour all the money into this hole, but there's no bottom to it, so it's never going to start piling up and be useful. And so something has to be done to change this dynamic, because you can open doors. We've talked about this. You can open back up, but that's only going to convince some people to go back outside, namely people who are ideologically resistant to the idea that there is even a virus, i.e. conservatives, people who have their own ecosystem of knowledge, their own epistemic tree, that say, no, this isn't even real. I want to put my hair done. I want to eat the cheesy dip and fippers at Funkelbees. So they break containment first, because there's barely anything restraining them. But there's still a big mass of people, not even liberals, but like regular, normal people who are sort of apolitical, who are... Helicopter's messing with my train of thought. What was I saying? The fucking helicopter just destroyed my train of thought. You guys got to tell me where I was when I stopped there. Oh, okay, yeah, now I'm at, thank you. So you can't get people who believe in the virus to go back shopping because they think they might get sick, because they believe in science. They follow the regular mainstream epistemic tree. So they're like, yeah, I'm not going to go and hurt myself. So even if you open up, they're still not going to go out. You need to break the seal. You need to break the enchantment of the scientific consensus around COVID. You can't do it piecemeal because you don't have time. So what if you create, through a domestic gladio type situation, a provocation designed to stoke a series of escalating civic disturbances that essentially give a lot of these urban liberals a moral justification for stepping outside and back into the consumer economy, so that now when they open up, everybody's out there and you can restart the engine. I'm not saying that is true. I literally just made it up. But tell me if it doesn't kind of make sense. But that's one of those like matrix questions where even if it's true, you still have to act the same way because you can't know, you know? How can you know? How can you know? It's no way to be proven unless somebody drops a big bag of documents, and even then it would probably get absorbed into the question of, oh, is that a false flag? Is that fake? Is that a deep fake? Is that a Russian op? Is that a government spook op trying to tell us that it's a government spook op? How do you get around that, you know? So you got to just move forward, no matter what. I'm not saying it'll work either, by the way. The damage might be too deep, but that's, I think, a possible outcome of this, is that everybody's fine. Like, when they open up again, they're like, hey, if I was willing to risk it to go outside to walk around in a protest for a couple hours, how much more now that I've already broken the seal of containment, I've already violated that sense that I'm going to, you know, because the thing is, all of that was sustained by the hysteria around COVID, the idea that everyone will die of it. This will kill everyone. Even if you look at COVID, it will kill you. You think it's 1%. It could actually be 15%. It could be 115%. You had to be that, the stakes had to be that high to keep you indoors, to keep you a good person for risking it. So going outside means, well, I value these issues. I value police brutality. I value the police state. I value fighting back against these tyrannies and racism. I believe in those values more than I'm afraid of spreading this virus. So that means that you have to tamp down in your head how much you fear the virus. So from now on, you're not as scared of the virus, which means you're more likely to weigh going out to a bar. Wouldn't it be nice to go to a bar? Oh my God. Oh, get a beer in you. Oh my God. Sit down in a restaurant, maybe. Okay, go to a karaoke night. Because now the fear has been shrunk to size. Nothing's changed in the science. You didn't find out, oh, it actually doesn't kill you. No, it still kills people. It's still killing people. It's killing fewer people because of shelter in place. and now it's going up again because of the relaxation of shelter in place. But this is literally the process I was talking about, where we get used to hundreds of thousands of people dying. This is how we end up gaining complicity in it. This is how at the end of this we look back and say, holy shit, 700,000 people died, and we were all kind of okay with it because we all felt like at some point we weighed the risks and said it was worth it. Whether it was because we wanted to go to Fuddruckers or we wanted to end racism. One is a more lofty and meritorious goal, but they are still both shrinking your sphere of your fear of the disease, and also the degree to which you think of it as deadly, the degree to which you're going to notice the number of people who die from it, because you're going to start to feel personally involved too, because you went outside, you made that choice. So when the bodies start piling up, you've been now. Before you weren't. When we were all locked in waiting for the government, we weren't. We were good people. We were good people who were following orders, well, for the best of everybody, because that's what science told us, and we know science doesn't care about political beliefs. But now that we're out and we decided it was worth the risk, that means that if people die, we're going to measure it against that. And we're going to be like, we made that choice because we thought it was worth it. But now we are inculcated. Now we all have blood on our hands now. It's like Murder in the Orient Express. We all did the murder. Out damn spot. And there's no way out of that morass now. And now they've normalized the death of maybe 1 million people. Who knows how many? Because now we're all feeling complicit in it in some way. All right, I'm checking the steak. Settle down. All right. I'm going to try the sear now. I'm going to try to sear. I know that's not long, just a little bit. My ass is flat. I'm a white boy. I'm a thin ass flat. I'm a flat ass PFLAT, flat ass white boy, or white guy. Alright, I have surrendered any plan for this thing to be great, to be right off the bat a perfect hit, but I think I will be able to make it tasty. It'll probably be a solid B, but I'm managing expectations between the stream and the grilling for maximum personal enjoyment. So I set my sights low now. If it's better than that, I'm delighted, and if it isn't, I'm not disappointed as much, and I can just enjoy the ride. I don't have to worry about it. That's grill pilling advice from yours truly to thou art. And as I said, I will ensure that it is fully cooked, and even if it's a little not, steak is one of the least dangerous meats to cook, to eat rare. I do have a low and slow project. I saw somebody pointed out how to do the snake method to smoke with a 22-inch kettle, and I have a big hunk of pork shoulder that is in my freezer, and I was thinking that I could put that baby in the smoker. Well, I know you got to put the tray of water in there next to it. You just put it in there for like 12 hours or something. I could definitely see myself doing that. That sounds a lot of fun. Yeah, because it's amazing how this stuff is. I was a little intimidated by the charcoal because I'm not naturally gifted in these kind of things, and I was worried it would be a little hard to manage and maintain temperatures and things like that. But there's a lot of it's a lot of idiot proofing in these things that make it easier to do. they're saying asymptomatic people. Think about that. They're saying asymptomatic people aren't aren't contagious now. Remember how that was orthodoxy? That was one of the big things that people yelled at each other to convince themselves that it was good to stay in. That it's, you could have it and still be giving it to people. You stupid, I hate you. That was the justification for condemning others and for feeling better about your shitty decision to stay inside, which sucks. But now, I mean, if from the beginning you could honestly say, I don't feel sick, I'm probably not going to get anybody else sick, and people couldn't say that's not true, it would have been much, much harder to enforce this entire thing. This is why you can't do conspiracy theory stuff, because it's way too easy to create these things out of whole cloth. So I just made up that thing about restarting the economy, right? Well, I could connect it even further back. They also did the COVID thing as a false flag, as not as made up, but like as an engineered virus. But then also, in addition to that, false flagged up in the point of like hyping the crisis and juking the science at the top levels to create a consensus around this as being super terrifying, because there was a super big crackdown coming in capitalism. Like the American economy was at the end of its elasticity. It was going to snap, and everything was wildly overpriced. And maybe the thought was this: you could short the fucking market. Like you could do a class-wide, like global 1% shorting of the market, where you get as liquid as possible, and then fucking just drop the whole thing to the goddamn floor, and then build it back up with, you know, that faucet of public money, the global cash pile, and then you repurchase at essentially pennies on the dollar. And the thing is, that's very compelling and persuasive narratively. And if you really think it's too elegant, what you end up doing is you start looking for ways to justify that, and then you get that bias towards confirmation that people have, confirmation bias, and before you know it, you've transcended reality. But the thing is, there's also a world where that was 100% true. Everything I just said is how it happened. We don't know if it's this world though, and we can't assume it is because it's unprovable. All we know is what we see in front of us. The steak is not a shoe. I don't have a very hot fire going, is the thing. I didn't use enough coals to begin with, so it's not very hot. Ooh, that actually looks good. Oh. Honestly, bros and broettes, I think you guys might eat crow on this while I eat steak. I just flipped it. It looked good. I think another 3 or 4 minutes on the side, I think it's going to be good. And even if it isn't, there'll be a nice crispy exterior that'll be worth the tum num 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 num. I forgot that I'm going to need a cutlery, so I'll be right back. gonna roll the dice a bit off, cut off a piece. All right, guys. I know this is a very men going their own way thing, just a piece of steak on a plate, but like I said, trying to manage the number of balls I'm going to competently be able to toss, and a side was going to be way beyond my pay grade. So I'm going to take a look at this guy. That's my boy, T-Bone, Saddle Creek, I believe, or Saddle River or something like that. Sound off in the comments if you think it looks good. Alright, we got some meat here. Oh man. Dudes, this is really good. I have, yeah, look at it. Oh, I got a nice goal. With you guys here, how good am I going to do this when I'm able to focus? Look at this guy. That is a medium rare. Look at that guy. Mmm. Cooked through. Wow. Oh boy, that's delicious. And the beauty of these Webers is now, I just let the coals burn down a little bit, then I put the top on. You close the vents and it seals it in. It's self-extinguishing. Just great. So elegant, so intricate. And I was able to put it together in like 20 minutes. Some fat on there. No ketchup on steak. No. I like it. I like sauces like a peppercorn. Béarnaise is good. Horseradish, really probably my favorite. I wish I had horseradish in this damn house. They don't have any at my grocery store. I don't know why. But no ketchup. Ketchup is too much of its own a star. You know. Honestly, I think that's it. People think ketchup is is not fancy enough. But what it really is ketchup is too much of a scene stealer, because it is so richly delicious. It's such a perfect umami, and it's so like resonant. It draws attention away from what should otherwise be the focus and the star of the show. That's why you put it on something like a burger, which is not nearly as, toothsome by itself. Man, I killed this. I can't believe I killed this. I thought this was going to be a disaster. Never did the reverse sear before. Like I said, it might be a little undercooked at some points, but I'm rolling the dice because you only live once. And you only grill once. Oh my god, I didn't even mean that. Oh my god, is you only grill... Wait a minute, that isn't even anything. Never once. Never mind. I'm distracted. How long have I been on? License to grill, baby. License to grill. Oh, 54 minutes. Man, this is so good. I realize that as I sit here, in my decadent backyard with my bourgeois accompaniments of backyard grilling and fine steaks, my full David Brooksian embodiment as an white male American consumer of middle age, that I should say one thing about class that I said on the last stream, but I want to elaborate on it. Somebody said that when I talked about how I think Chapo and other people like us do podcasts where we charge directly to the consumer are technically not workers under capitalism, not petty bourgeois really even, and certainly not capitalists. They are artisans, a pre-met capitalist form that's still embedded unevenly and eventually will be done away with. I mean, look, do you guys see how Spotify is trying to buy up all the big podcasts? They bought Joe Rogan, they bought Last House Podcast on the Left. They're going to try to do what George Hurst did to the fucking gold claims at Deadwood and roll it up under one big thing, and then the artisans will be gone. Just like what happened in the woolen trades in the 1840s in Europe. But we're still there for now. We're still embedded in it for now at this point. And the thing is, somebody said that that's trying to like absolve us of our class position because it doesn't address how much money we make. But the thing is that income is independent of class. That has a correlation, but that correlation does not begin at the level of class. It's superstructural. Income is superstructurally related to class. Class position is one's personal relationship to the means of production. A laborer sells his time, and labor is labor time. Capitalist buys it. Small bourgeois is like a small, self-exploits as well as exploits the labor of others. All that stuff. They all make more and less money, but that's independent. But it correlates highly with being a capitalist because that's the thing. You extract the profits out of the system. You extract the surplus. If you're on the top of the exchange, of course you're gonna have more. And more importantly, if I'm an artisan, I am not part of capital. I'm not a capitalist as long as all the money I'm getting for my artisan work I spend on myself, that I just put through my hands. I don't buy anything. I don't hold anything. I don't buy land. I don't become a rentier. I don't buy stock. I don't invest myself in the economy. If I don't do that, I am not, even if I'm making millions of dollars, I am not part of capitalism. I am an embedded relic. I am an artisan. But that's not what happens. The more money you have, eventually you buy things with it. That's what it does. So you buy land. You buy more land than you need. You get passive rents from that land. You buy stock. Now you're an owner in a company that purchases the labor power of others. Now you're embedded in capitalism. So you are, to some extent, invested in capitalism's maintenance. But that's independent of your role as an artisan. It all flows out of the income of being an artisan. If you're a poor artisan, you will never be a capitalist. I think this has been a great stream, guys. Good talks, good bants. I think we've got somewhere with some of this stuff. And the steak is out of this world. I realized, by the way, today we recorded an episode where we talked about the protests and everything. And it's the first time we've actually directly talked about the streams. And I wonder how many people listen to the show don't even know about these. I hope there's an influx of viewers because I really feel like I'm getting at something here and I like the feedback. A petty bourgeois person does not have a fully extractive relationship to the market like a capitalist does. He is exploited by capital. But he also exploits capital, which puts him in a balanced position between the two major classes. Which is why the way that the petty bourgeois goes depends on who has the balance of forces on their side. They tip towards the winning hand. That's what happened. That's what's traditionally happened. And that's certainly what happened in the Democratic primary. Like, the idea that we personally drove away the Warren voters by being mean to them is wildly idiotic and undialectical, I'm afraid. They were as soon as Biden's hand was strengthened by the DNC Obama intervention, and the entire suburban white Democratic electorate, the six-figure plus management types who make up the backbone of the party, decided en masse on Biden, it was all over but the fighting, but the shouting. The Warrenistas were tipping to the strong hand. No amount of being nice to them or mean to them would have changed that. All right, guys, I'm going to finish up this steak, I think, and log off soon. I think it's been like an hour, right? I'm feeling really good, though. I'm feeling like I'm entering new levels of, I'm unlocking new levels here. The introduction of the actual grill, the imitation, like this is even in miniature what I'm talking about, the immanentization of the grilling concept from a what do you call it, a metaphor to a direct physical intervention in my life, a material manifestation in front of me, something that I interact with my senses, not just virtually, with my senses, that I feel, touch, build up, feel invested in to the degree that I built it up. Like, and now this space feels different. Like, this place with a grill is a different place than it was without a grill. I want to do different things with it. It changes my life. It expands my social circle. I'm going to have more people over here with this grill once people start doing that, which is not going to be long, than I would have without. Because why do I want to sit back here just like a bunch of schmucks when we have the grill? So I know it's a very facile example, but I really do think that a lot of this stuff is fractal, and that, like, you know, a small example does shine a greater light, and if you look close enough, you can see the connections. So I'm going to finish up this delicious T-bone right now, and then I'm going to go in. Oh no, I'm going to finish Moby Dick, I think. It's a real book. That whale is nuts. Ahab, though, he's I like the cut of his jib, as they say. Bye-bye.